Hello, friends. It's me, Comic Head 84. Uh, I'm back, I suppose. Excuse me. Back with a new video coming at you. I've been on a little bit of a hiatus, a little break from comic book collecting, reading. I was dabbling in some reading of some trades here and there, and out of the YouTube scene, keeping up with things. And maybe I can elaborate more on that at a later time. But for now, I want to hit the ground running and talk about and show you some freaking comic books that your boy picked up. Okay. Disclaimer up front. This is a new camera that I'm getting figured out, and it randomly freezes sometimes while I'm talking. So you may see some weird freeze shit happen sometimes. Just fair warning. Because I was thinking, I knew I was getting the itch again, you know, because I can only stay away so long before them sweet comics pull me back in. So I started getting the itch again, and I'm like, I want to pick up some books, man. What should I grab? So I was thinking Golden Age. Historically, I haven't been much of a Golden Age collector. Partly because I don't get too into too many of the sub genres of Golden Age. The horror, crime, jungle women, sci-fi stuff. I can appreciate it, but I'm really not much of adding that to my collection. I'm a capes and superheroes kind of guy. All right. Uh, that's just how I roll. So, with that in mind, that already narrows it down to DC Comics is kind of where it's at for Golden Age superhero books. And not only that, I was thinking of, wouldn't it be cool to get some World War II era comics? Because that's a fun little unique trait of that's like uniquely comic books. How they have some of these books that like reference World War II very explicitly in them. So that's what we're going to look at. It started with one book, and then it evolved into, wouldn't it be cool if I got the DC Trinity, one cool World War II era book of DC's big three. There it is. That's the premise. That's the little mini rabbit hole I went down. And your time is valuable. I don't want to waste another minute of it yapping and effing around. Let's get right to it. Let me show you the first book that started off this this journey, this comic collecting journey. All right, first one. Batman. You don't have to start with my boy Batman. And I grabbed Batman number 15 from 1943. That's right, in the thick of the war, brother. And how freaking cool is that? The Batman popping off rounds with the Gatling gun, dude. But that's a big no-no for Batman. He swore an oath because he's pretty anti-gun, since that is how his mom and dad met their demise. So it's not very common you see Batman toting guns. Only other book that really comes to mind with Batman toting firepower like this is like that Detective Comics. I don't know if it's like a 90s book, early 2000s. I'm not sure the artist either, but he's got the big ass machine gun. I'll pull a picture of it somewhere if I think of it for reference. But aside from that, when else do you see Batman busting off this kind of firepower, Gatling gun? So that was pretty cool. Let's take a closer look at this thing, shall we? Oh yeah, gotta love that massive freaking trade dress from these old Batman books. That shit takes up like a third of the cover, and I love that. 10 center. Robin doing his part, feeding that ammunition. And you gotta love those little taglines. Keep those bullets flying and keep on buying war bonds and stamps. And how about that condition? This thing presents sweet 5.0. Now you'll notice we got a little gray banner here, conserved gray. This is the first conserved slab book in my collection. I wasn't even super familiar with it. It's sounds like it's not that much different from a purple label restored, because it means it's had some work done on it. But I think the main difference is like purple label is like amateur restoration and conserved is more professional restoration, or maybe even more specifically, a lighter touch of restoration might be what it is. But I'm not mad at it at all. And I'm glad that it's like more of an understated thing on the cover, because those purple labels, they're a bit loud, you know. I don't love those purple labels, but this looks pretty sweet. As far as what it says, conservation includes tear seals to cover, cover reinforced, cover cleaned. That all sounds above the board to me, and I'm very happy with it. So, bam, Batman 15 is what kicked off this this extravaganza. Next up, we're talking big three. Who else is in that big three? How about our girl Wonder Woman? And with Wonder Woman, it was a little trickier because she doesn't have as many war type covers than our boys, the other two. So it was, I thought, relatively slim pickings. The most popular one, I believe, is like the bowling cover, where she's like bowling and the Hitler and I don't know if it's Mussolini or like the pins. And that one's all right. I will say that one's not. That one didn't grab me. I don't love that imagery, that comic cover, and it's also not cheap. You know, it is a pretty desired book, it seems. So I was like, I don't know what I'm going to get for hers. Maybe if I just get one from that era, that'll fit my motif. But then I found this banger, and it wasn't easy to find. We're talking Sensation Comics number 20. Look at that beauty. At a 3.5, a respectable 3.5, we got Wonder Woman in the GI Jeep driving around some GI Janes. Let's take a closer look at this baby. Bam, similar to the Batman, massive trade dress. Love that. Sensation Comics number 20. I don't know if that means this is like the 20th appearance of Wonder Woman, but who knows? Definitely old school Wonder Woman. Got Wonder Woman like a boss steering the wheel with her right hand. You see that? And I don't know who would be hitting the gas pedal. I think it's just the power of the magic lasso is propelling them, is what it looks like. Love that Jeep. I love the dynamic of like superheroes and military vehicles together. Looks pretty sick. And you got that eagle right in the front leading the way. First appearance of Eagly from Peacemaker, actually. Uh, just kidding. But a very noble bird, very cool addition to that cover, that little eagle there. But let me tell you, this thing it was a bit of a journey to get this thing to me. I found it on Shortboxed because, again, this book didn't seem particularly common. I wasn't seeing what I was looking for, like on eBay's and stuff. And you know, I don't really get into the heritage comic connect. I'm still novice level, brother. So, but I did say, let me get outside my comfort zone. I think I have a Shortboxed account. Let me see what's going on Shortboxed. And there was nothing for a while, but then this thing just popped up. I jumped on it. I snagged it like, I think it hadn't been up for 24, 48 hours maybe. And then I snatched it. I buy the book. Price is good with me. Great. Done deal. Hey, book's coming at you. I'm excited. The box shows up at my doorstep. Like, hell yeah. I'm hyping up the whole thing. So I grabbed the wife. I say, hey, want to see me unbox something cool? Want to see this? And I'm building up the backstory. I'm like telling her about the historical significance of these books. Man, they're from a man 60-ish years old. These things are historical. I'm trying to get one for each Trinity member. I'm hyping up the whole thing, and I pull the book out of the box, and it's not even the book. It's some beat to the street, low grade first Juggernaut book and like a 2.0 Juggernaut book, X-Men 12 or 14, which great book, love the book. But value-wise, that thing is like, that particular copy was like a third of the value or the cost of what I paid for this book. So I'm feeling real shorted in this exchange. And I'm like, I got scammed. I got scammed. I jumped to the Shortbox website. I find this dude, the seller that I got it from. And what do I find? No listings, no more books for sale. The guy's all sold out, apparently. And I remember he had a few books because I was browsing through them. I'm like, now this guy's got no books for sale. You sent me some bogus book. And one thing I don't like about Shortbox is they don't really let you communicate directly with the sellers. So I'm like, what the fuck? This guy skipped town, sent out a bunch of lower value books. He's laughing all the way to the bank. Take the only recourse I have, which is I message Shortboxed customer service. Tell them the deal. I was a little hot and bothered in the email. Like, look, man, I got scammed. I hope you're going to do the right thing and refund me. Well, they respond. And he's like, oh, man, I'm so sorry. And the seller also says he's so sorry. He accidentally sent the book to someone else, and it's a big mix-up. It's just an honest misunderstanding. Don't worry. So their big plan was they're going to have me and the other buyer that got the wrong books. They're going to send us shipping labels so we can ship the books to each other. And that's going to make it right. I'm still a little skeptical at this point, to be honest. I'm like, I don't know. All right. I'm hoping that this other guy's going to play ball. I'm hoping this is all even real, and maybe that guy's just bullshit. I'm like, there's a pretty good chance that this seller is just bullshit, and this Shortboxed rep was really what I was thinking. But I'm like, whatever, let's do it. Long story short, obviously, the book came, and happily ever after kind of thing. I can't be too salty. I guess it was an honest mistake. Shortboxed did take care of the situation, and I got that sweet ass Wonder Woman World War II book that I was looking for. So, I'm not going to be too bothered by it. All's well that ends well. Now, got one more book to show you. We were going after the Trinity, right? So you know who's next. Big Blue. And I got to say, it's my favorite of the bunch. This thing is a beauty. And without further ado, pow! Superman number 18. And the oldest of the bunch, 1942. Superman number 18. Riding that rocket, dude. Look at him riding that rocket. Fighter jets in the background. That's an early ass Superman. That's amazing. 1942. I love this book. Let's get you a closer look at this baby. Bam. Respectable 3.0 grade. Thing presents like a gem. I just can't get over the layout of the cover art on this thing. Him dive bombing, riding the rocket, fighter jets. The clouds really make him pop, And probably the most bold tagline on this one of the three: war, savings, bonds, and stamps. Do the job on the Japanazis. The Japanazis, brother. And I gotta say, that is part of what is just so cool, I think, about these books is like they're such a moment in time capsule. Like, we're never gonna get an era like this again. Like, if you think about today, if they were to put out some comic book that was referencing a real life war, world war, military conflict on the cover, there's no way that thing would not be super controversial. Some people would be all about it. Some people would be offended by it, I'm sure, and it would be a whole to do. But not back in during the Great War. It was a different time. It was just good versus evil, and everyone was on the same page to the point that you could reference it on a comic book cover. Like, hey kids, guess what? Superman and Batman joined the US military, and they're going after our enemies in these other countries. Isn't that cool? You know what I mean? Don't you want to buy some war bonds and stamps to support these guys? And they're like, hell yeah. You got to love that. So, love the historical nature of these books. And also love that I would have expected these books to be a bit more expensive, frankly. They're not cheap books, don't get me wrong. But I just think considering the age and the condition of these books, like these are the premier DC characters. You know, we're talking Superman, Batman. It's not like I'm picking up Star Spangled Jabroni #5. You know, this is the creme de la creme of DC Comics. And I feel like the cost of these books, these golden age throwbacks, is like the same as like a very mid-grade Copper Age key or something like ASM 129. I bet you a 5.0 ASM 29 would be like the cost of a couple of these books. And that thing like grows on trees basically. Let's get a shot of them all three together. Boom, look at that. Isn't that a beauty right there? Don't they present so cool together? That thing's going to look sick on the wall. These three books. You got to love this trio. You got to love it. Putting me in Wilson home improvement neighbor mode. Howdy ho, neighbor. Hey, Tim. Some pretty sweet books, eh? Oh. Don't mind me. That's just a little home improvement humor. But yeah, man. Very happy with these three books. And you know, that's what I have to report for today. One downside of Slabs is I really am interested to open these books up, and it'd be nice to flip through them. But you know, it's going to compel me to check out maybe a digital copy or something because I do want to see what's up inside. But you know, those books having them slabs is nice, considering the age keeps them in good shape, and they're just going to present nice in the slab. So I'm going to check those out, and yeah, I'm pumped to have them. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for sticking around till the end of the video. And till next time, you know, I got some more content in store. You know, maybe I'll jump into some live streams. You know, I'm not ready for that just yet. I got to ease in, but maybe you'll see me soon enough. I got a little room tour that I'll do for you because, you know, come on, the comic headquarters, this backdrop, not too bad, right? I mean, look at that. We got Scott Summers holding it down back there, keeping an eye on things. So yeah, I got some cool shit to show you. Some stuff going on over here that you can't see. So yeah, you'll see me soon with stuff like that. I got some other things I want to show you and talk about. So until then, I'll see you next time. Take care of yourself. I got to come up with a cool, you know, line to leave on. You know, something like, all right, guys, and you know, comics are awesome, and you're awesome for sticking around to the end of the video. Hit the buttons. Thank you. Later.